Down in the village of Itinyi, Maungu town in Taita Taveta County, there is a welcoming sound of song and dance. In this normally quiet, sleepy village, there is a dance that has not been in existence for more than half a century. Amid the chuckles of voices of discord is a bellowing smoke from fire lit by use of dried elephant dung. As the dust rises from the vigorous traditional dance of Gerarso, the young generation of Watha youths are keen to learn the ropes from their elders. On this day, the Watha people are rehearsing for their first ever cultural mini-festival since their existence. It is a joy they can't explain. They demonstrate their culture and way of life. The Watha people are a rare Cushitic tribe regarded by anthropologists as hunter-gatherers. However, recent testimonies indicate that the Watha are more of bushmen than hunter-gatherers. 65-year-old Willie Kazungu knows this too well. He was only a year old when his community was evicted from Dololo. He was trapped on his mother's back as they left their original inhabitant.
Watu walihamishwa hapa 1952. Wengine wakarudishwa makwao. Ili kabila lilikuwa linaitwa Watha, lilikuwa linatoka sehemu inaitwa Mwangea. Kwa sasa inajulikana kama sehemu ya Langobaya. Walipelekwa huko kwa sababu huko ndio walikuwa wametokea wakija pande hii. Lakini walishindwa na maisha ya kulima kwa sababu walikuwa wamezoea maisha ya wanyama. Ilibidi warudi tena na miguu, wakatokea kijiji ambacho kinaitwa Birikani kwa sasa. Ni group moja, ziligawanyika group nyingi. Kuna group iligawanyika ikaenda mahali panaitwa Kajire, group nyingine ikagawanyika inaenda Kisimenyi, group nyingine ikagawanyika ikaenda Makinandodi, group nyingine iko sehemu nyingine inaitwa Kilibasi.
They once occupied the vast region now under the jurisdiction of Tsavo East National Park and Tsavo West National Park. The protected area was given a Watha name, Tsavo, meaning a hole left on the face of an elephant after the horn has been extracted. The area was the main homeland of the Watha people. Parts of the national park bear names that are predominantly from the Watha community, with some like Mudandarok that depict their way of life.
Majina yaliyo Tsavo East yote ni ya Watha. Kwa mfano, tukianza na Aruba ambayo ni ndovu ni yao. Ukija hapa Dololo ambapo ni swamp ni yao. Ukienda Sobo ni mlima ni yao. Ukienda mahali panaitwa Mudandarok ndio walikuwa wakitandika nyama zao wakati wakiwinda. Na kuna kefu ndani ambapo walikuwa wakikaa. So katika hii Tsavo National Park yote kwa jumla ni ya watu wa Watha.
The Watha people have a supernatural relationship with elephants. This phenomenon distinguishes them from their Cushitic cousin tribes, namely the Borana, Boni and Gabra people, whom they speak a common language called Oromo. The Watha people are the aboriginals of Taru Desert in southern eastern Kenya since about 4000 BC and are expert bushmen with a culture based on hunting mainly the elephant.
The Watha believe that the elephant is not an animal and it is a human being. Not because it has a lot of characteristics, but because they have a legend which they believe that a Watha woman actually gave birth to an elephant. And when the elephant walked away at maturity from the woman's homestead, because it looked different, the mutual agreement between the woman and the elephant is that the elephant will always look out for the Watha and her brothers and sisters, including offering itself as food. Therefore, the Watha people consume the elephant with an understanding that it is basically a way of the elephant saving the Watha people from hunger and from disappearance.
With their indigenous knowledge, they could interpret and explain elephant migration and dispersal. As they say, knowledge is power. They instinctively knew where the elephants went, how long they stayed, and what they ate. In 1936, the British colonial government passed a legislation to create non-hunting zones for protecting wildlife, most especially elephants and rhinos. A large portion of the Taru Desert was earmarked and declared wildlife protected area to enforce the new legislation. To date, remnants of the Watha population can be found scattered in different communities around Taita Taveta, Kwale, Marsabit, Kilifi, Tana River and Lamu counties. Elephant tusks were only exchanged for bride price or bartered with Giriama and Kamba tribesmen for clothes, tools and ornaments. However, their very own neighbors humiliated them more by calling them unsuitable names.
Sisi hatuwaiti Watha, sisi tunawajua kama Wariangulo. Na kwa kifupi wao hawapendi kuitwa Wariangulo. So wakiwa huku wanajitambulisha kama tribe ya Wataita, huwa hataki kutambulikana. So sisi hao watu huwa tuna believe wako na mikosi fulani. Kama ni kijana umefanya mapenzi na msichana kwa mfano, sasa inakuwa wewe umekuwa ni kama umepata laana fulani. Hautawahi oa, itakuwa mambo yako. Hata kama ni kazi, unaamini ukienda kazi, ukiuliza kazi unakuwa rejected.
The negative attitude, misplaced mindset and perceptions towards Watha people due to their prowess in elephant hunting has not only robbed them of their identity as a people with their own pride, but has totally denied them the opportunity for recognition as a distinct tribe with a unique way of life and livelihood. The Watha people were unlawfully arrested under the colonial government and exterminated as poachers.
Wakati ule serikali ilikuwa ni ya wakoloni, na watu waliokuwa na uwezo wakati ule ni wakoloni, na wakoloni ndio wamekuja kusema watu waondoke kwa sababu sisi tulikuwa kinyume cha mapenzi yao, na walitumia akili. Walipokuja hapa walichukua vijana wakawaandika kazi kama askari. Sasa hawa vijana ndio walisema baba zao wale wawindaji hawa wakina fulani walikuwa hivyo, wakaanza kushika wale wazee ambao walikuwa wanawinda moja na kusemana. Sasa walipokuwa wamekusanya wote na wakawakamata, ikabidi wawatoe.
Unfortunately, this historical injustice was carried out in the successive governments even after independence. However, reports indicate that after they were evicted from the park, poaching has persisted to date.
It's the high time we see whether the Watha can be given back a portion of Tsavo, which they can actually, as empowered by the Wildlife Act and the Constitution, they can be able to practice conservation in their own way. Remember, when the Watha lived with the elephant population never decreased. It's only when we started conserving it through the government means that the elephant actually started decreasing.
There is no tangible effort made to enlighten the Watha against poaching. No one has been recorded to have made a distinguished effort to enlighten them against the vice this far. The Watha are rarely employed or involved in wildlife conservation. Even the reformed poachers are not recruited to take part in anti-poaching initiatives, despite being available to do so.
If, and I say that if only the communities were allowed to access the resource for their livelihood and for their cultural practices, I don't think they would have disseminated the wildlife population. Why do I say that? Because the Luyas in Western Kenya, who are popularly known for eating chicken, have we ever imported chicken out from the country to Western Kenya? No. So it therefore means that when you blend conservation and community cultures and community customs, you can actually sustain a resource.
For the last 10 years, African Network for Animal Welfare, ANO, a pan-African non-governmental organization, has been partnering with the little-known Watha community to promote peaceful human-wildlife coexistence through offering alternatives to the well-known for hunting wildlife for food. In 2017, ANO with the Watha began a journey geared to establishing a cultural and heritage resource center for the latter. The project falls under ANO's mandate to promote animal welfare best practices through humane treatment of all animals for the benefit of both people and animals in society. The community is now coming to birth and demanding recognition by the state. On this material day, the Watha have nothing to hide. Bold and confident of whom they are, the Watha can now showcase their own culture with pride. All their ceremonies begin with a sacred fire made from elephant dung, which symbolizes blessings and renewal of covenant. Watha culture is coded in a wide variety of song and dances expressing worship, lamentation, lullabies, mockeries, seduction, hunting triumphs, fertility, crises and calamities. Watha people have no war songs. They have never been to any war in memory of their history.
Kuna nyimbo ya wazee ile ya kuinua mguu namna hii. Hii ya wazee kisha alafu naingia ya wavulana. Ya wavulana ni hii ya kusaga mguu. Alafu na nyimbo kama hii tamaduni yetu kutoka zamani inahusu msichana kuolewa, inahusu wakati ya sherehe yako. Hapo sasa wazee wanakaa kivyao, wavulana wanakaa kivyao. Sasa ni sherehe yao ya kwamba kama unachinja mbuzi, kama unachinja ng'ombe, sasa wakule, wakishamaliza sasa wanaanza nyimbo hii.
Gerarso is a hunter's triumphant song. Most of the villages at the festival sang about successful elephant hunting. The song's lyrics mainly focused on thanking the elephant for its generosity of food to feed a large multitude of people. The singers expressed how they overcame any fears and tribulations during the hunting expedition. At the end of the song, each singer was anointed with animal oil on his forehead to avoid retribution on the hunter or his family by the spirit of the fallen animal. Only hunters sang a Gerarso song. One of the greatest identities of the Watha people is that they are predominantly meat specialists and therefore experts of preparing, preserving, and storing all types of meat. In this ceremony, a bull was slaughtered to reenact how the actual process was done. Striped and dried meat that they best know how to prepare can stay fresh for at least 3 years without refrigeration. Men only did the job of skinning an elephant and preserving the meat.
Tunadanda ala tukimaliza tunanika kwa jua. Tunanika kwa jua ikauke kama wiki moja. Kikauka alafu ndio tuondoe tuweke kwa gunia tunaweka.
The culmination of the Watha Mini Festival is archery, a sport that is renowned to Watha, with many considering them to have inborn marksmanship. The hunters were clever enough not to kill a female elephant and cubs, but would go for aged male elephants. It was even a taboo to kill a pregnant or a calf elephant. Boys of the age of 10 years will accompany their fathers to the hunting ground to learn the ropes of the game.
Tulikuwa tunatafuta moja moja, sasa tuui kama watu wa bunduki. Moja moja na moja moja. Kuua moja mpaka penge mwezi ishe au miezi miwili ndio uwe ingine. Ndio chakula. Huwezi kuua leo na kesho. Ndio sababu ilikuwa ndio uchumi.
The Watha people are the owners of the world famous elephant big bow. The bow is almost 2 inches thick, measures about 5 feet 11 inches tall, and is powerful enough to bring down a 7-ton elephant instantly if hit on the vital spot. It is the only double convex bow in the world. The bowstrings were traditionally made from giraffe or buffalo ligament. The arrow is the first ever in the world to have 4 narrow veins made from vulture wing feathers.
Jambo lile ambalo limetufanya sana sisi tusikie uchungu kwanza ni kusahau mila zetu, kusahau tamaduni zetu na kuwekwa mahali ambapo hatuna uhuru wa kufanya yale ambayo tulikuwa tukiyafanya hapo awali.
The Constitution is perhaps the last hope for the Watha people to tell their stories and fight for consideration within the emerging opportunities that will enable them to recapture their identity, participate as equal citizens, and rekindle their pride and abolish the stigma associated with their intricate connections to the elephant, their dear relative. This will provide hope for the long overdue reunion between the elephants and their keepers, the Watha, the real elephant keepers.